I miss our dogs. Extreme Texas winds flip semis like toys on Interstate 40 in Amarillo. Gusts reach up to 83 miles an hour, creating dangerous travel conditions. March 14th. Look at the video from this.
27 going towards Amarillo. They're trying to get somebody into an ambulance right here. Oh, boy.
What's even happening right now? We have fires popping up all over Oklahoma and Texas. We have sandstorms knocking down trailers, and we also have the news warning of multiple tornadoes, and we've not had a warning this bad since I think it was 2011. I really don't even know where to start with this, and I do wonder if the blood moon had anything to do with this because of gravitical and energetic changes, but if you're driving in Texas, it might look like this. And this is the second time in 2 weeks, y'all. I've had 50 car accidents at least. It literally knocked over 4 trailers in just 1 hour. Fires popping up all over Oklahoma and Texas. Hey, do y'all remember this Time magazine cover? It's irrelevant, I just wanted to show it to you. It's pretty cool, right? Of course, we just had 2 crazy wildfires in the Carolinas just weeks apart, with weird anomalous things popping up on the radar I'm not going to show here. And for some reason, very odd, one of the weather organizations just came out on Twitter and they were like, we haven't had an EF5 tornado all year, something to that extent. Fast forward a few hours and they're trying to get people to leave their homes, especially trailers, because they're expecting many tornadoes. Y'all, the South and the East Coast are in for it. See, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of worrisome. This is gonna be the craziest year for storms that we have ever seen, guaranteed 1000%. By the way, make sure your family prepared.
Health Secretary tells CEOs to remove artificial dyes from food. U.S. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. recently told executives from top food companies that he wants artificial dyes out of the nation's food supply before he leaves office, according to a food company and trade association email. I think tomorrow, got all this stuff out of there tomorrow. Stop it. Kennedy, head of the Department of Health and Human Services, on March 10th, met with executives from PepsiCo, Tyson Foods, and other companies that sell food and food products. Writing on a social media platform X, he said the discussion covered food safety, stating, we will strengthen consumer trust by getting toxins out of our food. The Consumer Brands Association, a trade group representing PepsiCo and other food and consumer group makers, participated in the meeting. In an email sent after the meeting and reviewed by the Epoch Times, the association stated that Kennedy wanted to work with the industry in a collaborative and non-adversarial fashion. Well, you're putting poison in people's foods. I would be your adversary right off the bat. He also communicated that Trump's administration's strong desire to remove artificial dyes such as F, D, and C, blue number 1, from the food supply, labeling it as an urgent priority to be completed before he exits office. I want to know the person that approved this stuff to be put in our food in the first place. I want to know his name, address, and telephone number.
Is not bread, and it's absolutely horrible for you. See, to get the fluffy, sweet, delicious bread millions of Americans love to eat, you need a few very special ingredients, like potassium bromate, an additive that makes bread rise, or azodicarbonamide, a chemical to bleach and strengthen the dough. Do you know where else you can find these chemicals? In yoga mats, pesticides, and even explosives. And all these chemicals have one thing in common. They can cause all sorts of cancer. That's why the European Union, the UK, and even China have banned them from food production. But not in America. To this day, the FDA says these additives are generally recognized as safe to eat.
Officials just revealed that Joe Biden was cooking the books on border arrests. Joe Biden said he arrested tens of thousands of migrant criminals, but they weren't arrested. Biden just caught and released them. Biden was taking credit for the catches, but then hiding the releases. If Biden was lying about this, what else is he lying about? Jobs numbers, the cocaine, obviously. Why should we believe anything Biden said after he told us he was healthy? Donald Trump should open an investigation into everything Joe Biden put out. ICE says they're now trying to find and lock up the illegals that Biden lied about arresting. Trump's team already arrested more migrants than Biden did in all of 2024, and he hasn't even been in office.
Sealed indictments are piling up, 562,500 total as of March 2025, with 78,000 unsealed. Trump's term has 4 years to tackle this, but at the current rate of 4,600 unsealed in 4 months, it's a stretch to clear them all. The pace would need to jump over 120,000 per year. Military tribunals at Gitmo and other bases are active, but the backlog is massive. Justice moves slow when the swamp is this deep. And Kash Patel exposes the government.
Was These people who run these institutions, DOJ, FBI, DOD, what have you, they are part of this entrenched class in Washington that all respond to one thing: their self-advancement. And the only way they do that is if they glorify and protect the institution that's been corrupted, and their partners in the media will come in with the narrative as long as it advances something they have that they share a common interest in. For a large part of the last decade, it's been whatever it is anti-Trump.
Right.
So they had this massive common interest. And I was in the Obama Justice Department when Trump announced. And all of us apolitical prosecutors, you're not supposed to go in the building and talk about it. You're supposed to, that's happening out there. This is our job. We got to go chase down criminals, terrorists, rapists, murderers. I have never seen that place so loud with political chatter. They lost it. I didn't know Trump. I hadn't met him. Of course, I'm from New York originally, so I knew of him. These people who run these institutions, DOJ, FBI, DOD, what have you, they are part of this entrenched class in Washington that all respond to one thing: their self-advancement. And the only way they do that is if they glorify and protect the institution that's been corrupted, and their partners in the media will come in with the narrative as long as it advances something they have that they share a common interest in. For a large part of the last decade, it's been whatever it is anti-Trump.
Right.
So they had this massive common interest. And I was in the Obama Justice Department when Trump announced. And all of us apolitical prosecutors, you're not supposed to go in the building and talk about it. You're supposed to, that's happening out there. This is our job. We got to go chase down criminals, terrorists, rapists, murderers. I have never seen that place so loud with political chatter. They lost it. I didn't know Trump. I hadn't met him. Of course, I'm from New York originally, so I knew of him.
I want to address the alarming rise in swatting incidences targeting media figures. The FBI is aware of this dangerous trend, and my team and I are already taking action to investigate and hold these responsible accountable. This isn't about politics. Weaponizing law enforcement against any individual American is not only immoral, but reprehensible, and also endangers lives, including those of our officers. That will not be tolerated. We are fully committed to working with local law enforcement to crack down on these crimes. FOIA, Freedom of Information requests, target Biden administration's financial surveillance. Alliance Defending Freedom has proceeded with filing a number of Freedom of Information requests with the Treasury Department, the FBI, and the Department of Homeland Security, DHS. The goal is to receive relevant information regarding the Biden administration's alleged weaponization of government and censorship. Well, President Trump's tariffs, a golden age for American aluminum workers. President Donald Trump specialized in shattering conventional wisdom and challenging the status quo on his road to the White House in 2016. To this day, our president believes Americans are getting ripped off by unfair trade practices where country after country has gotten comfortable with taking advantage of the United States due to unparalleled generosity and wealth. I would say debt. So he's focused like a laser beam on fair trade and leveling the playing field so our manufacturing workers can compete with foreign competitors and prosper. President Trump has declared that by implementing targeted tariffs on foreign countries that hurt American workers, our country will be extremely liquid and rich again. Having served as President Trump's deputy campaign manager in 2016 and as an advisor to the campaigns in 2020 and 2024, I was delighted to see him reelected in 2024 with a huge mandate to fight our manufacturing sector and usher in a golden age in America. Make no mistake, our 45th, 47th president is determined to finish the revolution on American trade policy that he began by fixing the mistakes of the Biden-Harris years, strengthening Section 232 tariffs on aluminum and steel. As part of the shock and awe action of his 100 days in the office, President Trump signed a new proclamations to bolster the fair trade policy introduced during his historic first term in office. By elevating tariffs to 25% on aluminum and restoring the 25% tariff on steel, the Trump administration is making clear they have the backs of thousands of American aluminum and steel workers and are resolute in their mission to create a multitude of new manufacturing jobs. Leaders in these states are looking to end property taxes. We pay rent to the government. You sure do. You do not own the dirt that's underneath your head, folks, when you sleep at night. We went over that. There's only 3 ways to own land in the United States of America: a land grant, a perfected deed, and a legal title. As tax day nears, fiscally conservative leaders in several states are pushing to abolish property taxes, one with Pennsylvania lawmaker arguing that homeowners should not have to pay rent to the government. That lawmaker, State Representative Russ Diamond, representative from Lebanon, spoke to Fox News Digital on Thursday ahead of his latest effort to end the collection of such taxes in the Keystone State. So we need to recognize the wisdom that's been laid on us from our predecessors, folks. Jim Sinclair was entirely correct. We need to get out of the system. We're all lulled to sleep on this. Think of what's happening. You go into the casino, you turn over your purchasing power to the casino. They give you chips. They're not going to give you the coin of the realm. They're going to give you chips. You come in with coin of the realm. They give you chips. As long as you're in that casino, as long as the chips are still used inside the casino, everything's good. But they're going to find out that eventually the cost of things in terms of the chips is going to continue to go up and up and up because they're just creating these things out of thin air. Now, what I'm suggesting that you do is redeem the chips at the cashier window and get out. Now, the problem is that there's only 3% of you can get out right now because only 3% of the total claims against the currency and credit derivatives is available in the M2 money supply. Just calculate it again. You want to do the number. You currently have 724 trillion, 885 billion, 603 million, and tens of thousands. That's the claims against 21 trillion, 809 billion. So you got $724 to be cleared by just $21 in the checking account. Why silver's time to shine is now. Interesting, coming to the best of last here. Gold has been soaring all year while silver has spent the last 9 months languishing, leaving long-suffering investors like us wondering, will silver always play second fiddle to gold, or does it finally lead to shine? It will. Like many, I've been frustrated by silver's lackluster performance, but in this report, I'll highlight a growing number of reasons I believe its rough patch may be soon over. Silver may be finally stepping out of gold's shadow and embark on a sustained bull market of its own. The first sign of a sign that silver is ready to surge is decisive move above $32 to $33 resistance zone, which has acted as a stubborn ceiling for much of the past. This breakout is an encouraging signal, but the next crucial confirmation will be a strong high volume close above the 34 to 35 resistance zone. This same level that halted the late October rally in its tracks. Since silver clears both barriers and the path should be wide open for the powerful bull market, I've anticipated some since April 2024. However, for this breakout to remain valid, silver must close and hold above resistance zones.